Casey Mears, Rudiman is there, Reagan is there, Robbie Gordon, Jeff Gordon.
See Montoya driving through the grass.
And the white flag and the yellow flag are waving.
Still driving this car.
Let's show you again here, coming down for the white flag out of turn 4.
Looks like Keselowski got into the 2 a little too hard, but Jimmy Johnson just in front of that 82 car, you can see sneaks by there, along with Michael Waltrip. Looks like Keselowski was actually getting a little bit of a shove from behind, too, from Brian Vickers. Kind of a stack-up that caused it.
And Mark Martin went completely over on his roof, back over on the wheels, came and hit the outside wall. Watch what Mark Martin saw as he was riding here to come take the white flag.
Here's the one coming down.
Oh, man. Yeah, you can't watch something like that. You could hear him say, watch the 1 coming down, but...
Oh, there's a car. Who is that? The 48?
Oh, Logano's in it.
Yep, the
and
48.
Bush and Reagan and more.
The 48 broke loose. Looked like something may have happened to it.
And here come the drivers who were trailing the field, tiptoeing their way through.
And that was all but in the same area that Brad Keselowski and the 2 car broke loose earlier.
Very, very similar look.
You got a little bit of Ricky Stenhouse's 17, and then the 22 of Logano, the 41 of Bush, the 34 of Reagan, and the 95 of McDowell all pile up. So a 6-car jam session at lap 174.
Look at Ryan Newman at 31. He came to a complete stop. You could see he stopped so fast the car almost spun out with him.
And the 7 of Michael Annett just squeaked through here.
You see the 48 back here, and he has a lot of rear damage. And Larry and I were talking about the back of the car maybe down a little bit, which would take that spoiler out of the air, make it fast, but make it hard to drive.
Austin Dillon, nice job of getting through there as well.
Kurt Busch.
See Newman and Annett.
Oh, I've got trouble right there. My boss is around right there, along with Matt Kins is also.
And this will take some people out of the race, no doubt, Mike.
And Jeff, that was right at the same point in the pack. Scott Riggs got turned up to the high side. And look how many cars pile in. Well, the first contact is between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mike Wallace. But also you've got Jimmy Johnson starting to come up the racetrack a bit.
Well, I think what happened was when the 8 bumped the 4 car, it made the 4 car wiggle just a little bit. It makes it appear that the 48 came up, but I think that actually what happened was the 4 started to go to the left just ever so slightly.
Yeah, it was not much.
Yeah, and made contact with the 48.
Look how quickly, though, the racetrack clogged the whole width of the racetrack as this unfolds. Track's blocked.
Oh, trouble, the big one, on the dinger, on his lid. Side over side, end over end. Kevin Harvick's going to win this race.
Yeah, that's...
And let's go back and see what happened that actually ended this race.
Jimmy Johnson got out of shape first there. It saves it. And right behind him, everybody starts getting together. Looks like Tony Stewart forces Allmendinger upside down.
Boy, and that, thank goodness, the safer barriers on that inside wall.
Yeah, and we've seen in the past that when something happens behind the leaders that NASCAR's let these guys race back. But obviously this was in an area they would have been racing back to. So.
Oh, trouble. Dillon gets turned around into the middle of the pack. Casey Mears is the one that hit him. Caution is out. Race is over.
All good, guys. All good.
Already making contact with Dillon's bumper.
Wow, looked like Dillon might have just turned around. Yeah, it might have just been there. Wow, what contact that was. It had just been the air coming across the back that got him loose.
Boy, Jeff Gordon.
And around.
He's
car to
getting
the wall.
I think that was Jeff Gordon.
Here we go. 8, 9, 10 cars. Mark Martin's involved.
Man, you hate to see this early in the race.
I believe Jeff Gordon was the first car sent
It came up on me.
up and into the wall. Somebody
hit Jeff, and that guy started it. Look at that. Looks like a junkyard.
All right, boys. Let's go to the garage, see if we can get it fixed.
It's because it is.
Looks like Jeff has got cars on the inside of him, on the outside of him. Oh, and Kenseth just looks like he was leaving a little room on the bottom and moved up a tad and got into Jeff.
Casey Kane involved.
Oh, I think
Allmendinger.
Listen, when the field went by, there were only about half. It's only about half a field left.
You can see right there, Matt Kenseth just gets into that left front of Jeff Gordon, and Gordon goes up and gets in the side of the 71. Gilliland, nowhere for Kurt Busch to go. Brian Vickers, and they just stack up from there.
Look, that's a six-pack into the wall, just all in one move.
And this is the way the big one works at Talladega. I saw cars running in the top 5 that were involved, cars running out.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There was no way.
Oh, it's Kurt Busch up and over. Boyer's in it. Bobby Labonte's in it. Stremmy's in it. Jeff Gordon down to the grass.
Nothing else coming from behind you.
And Kurt Busch went over and over.
Right here, the 51 car, Owen Stenhouse, squeezes to the outside.
And that's Yaley in the 36.
And that shoved Yaley down. And look at that 78 car upside down and then lands on top of Ryan Newman's 39 car.
Bobby Labonte involved.
And Yaley and Stenhouse thought he could squeeze by on the next to the wall, and he just couldn't make it. And this kid's ugly. Watch this thing.
Right on top of Ryan Newman.
Hadn't Ryan Newman had cars on top of him before here?
I think the 2009 race.
I think you're right.
We've heard. Oh, here's a car upside down.
Big time crash upside down.
Ryan Newman. See Kevin Harvick there. Marcus Ambrose.
Ambrose is there, comes across. Harvick stops, and Newman's car comes to rest upside down on its roof.
He and his teammate Tony Stewart got into the wall, but you can see it turns Ryan Newman around. As soon as it does, it's almost like that wing acts as to help to lift the car up. Lands on Kevin Harvick's hood. See Elliott Sadler there involved.
Elliott trying to jam the brakes on to keep from hitting the 39 as it was pirouetting up the track. He's able to miss it. Harvick able to get the car woed down as the 39 just comes rolling down on its roof onto the grass and comes over again another 360 before coming to rest on its top.
Trouble back straightaway, guys.
Trevor Bayne.
A number of cars
and
involved.
more. Logano is in it.
Crashing all. Oh, man.
On the number 6 of Trevor Bayne.
Oh, man. Gosh, the 6 just started to turn all by itself. I mean, it's.
But Darrell, do you think the 27 car being out there on the outside, it just pulled the back end of Trevor Bayne's 6 car around?
It had to, Larry, because the car was not in any. There was nobody around him except that 27 closing fast. See right here, he gets a big run coming. You got to. I think that's Tony Stewart down below him. He's got cars on both sides of him.
And then Kurt Busch got into Bayne, and into the wall he went.
Man, there's been a lot of cars getting on the roof lately.
There we see the 41 car. Looks like he's going to get bumped from behind by the 12.
Ryan Newman in the 12. Rigs hard into the wall.
And it gets worse.
Yes.
There you see the 41 car, the 12 lines up. We talked about this bump trapping thing. He wasn't lined up straight when he hit the 41 car. The 41 car was just a little bit to his left. You got to give him a straight shot. And this was coming through the tri-oval, which is another problem.
And the 16 car, another Nextel Cup point contender, involved in the crash.
As was Rusty Wallace in the 2.
Edwards goes. Oh, no! Turns him. No!
Oh, and that destroyed the front end of Newman's car.
No!
Edwards will not make it to the flag.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think This is a hard lick right into the fence. I mean, that car, that looked like Bobby Allison did here in 1987.
The catch fence did its job, and the car did its job.
Thank goodness we have the new, stronger, much stronger, safer catch fences.
And Newman took a hard hit from Edwards as well.
What happened here is the 09 looked to the outside. Carl went up a little bit to block him, and 09 went right back to the bottom and clipped him.
You know, the move looked a lot like the one that Brian Vickers put on Jimmy Johnson when Vickers won.
Wow.
But what a hit.
Wow. That is 1987 all over again.
Oh, there's contact.
Get out of you now.
Stewart into the middle of the pack and over.
Watch it out.
And a huge wreck to end this race. Waltrip in the 55, Mears in the 13, Stewart in the 14.
You can see Tony just a little bit late in making that move to get back down. Harvick and Kenseth on the outside had a run, so they were literally going to go by him on both sides.
Watch the 2. The championship leader somehow avoided getting really torn up in that.
See, it looked like Martin Truex was going to get through there. Bobby Labonte caught him right at the end.
They waited all day to do it, but it was big when it happened.
Sure. See, Michael Waltrip just barely catching the left rear quarter panel of Kevin Harvick. Get him involved. Stewart's car upside down on top of Casey Kane's number 5.